Northside, R0, PCO ladder 1, ladder 5, county wagon 1, engine 2, engine 3. You're going to be responding for a structure fire. Call is last number from on fire.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ringdown podcast, where we bring you inside Roanoke Fire EMS to meet the people and hear their stories. I'm Hope Escobar.
And I'm Casey Fury. Today's episode is all about tradition, training, and fatherhood, and how those things come together to shape the kind of firefighters we want besides us on the fire ground. We're sitting down with two guys who bring passion and purpose to the job every single day, firefighter EMTs Lasek and Fritsch.
These two are known around the department for their love of aggressive firefighting and supporting the next generation in the fire service, but they're also devoted dads and role models, both at home and in the station. Whether you're just getting started in public safety or you're a dad trying to be the best version of yourself, this episode is for you.
Medic freeze on scene.
Second line, knock down the exterior fire.
Let's start with the basics. What brought each of you into the fire service?
Fritsch is first.
Okay. I just grew up around the fire service, kind of like most people. Like my dad he was a volunteer, worked a career, and so just growing up, I was kind of always around it, going to calls and just going to his firehouse for Christmas or Thanksgiving. So just grew up around it and wanted to do it as a career.
When did you start volunteering?
I was like 15, 16, something like that. I was young.
Where at? I know your life story, but
it was in Charlestown, West Virginia. It's like the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. It kind of butts up next to Loudoun County. And so we'd run a bunch of mutual aid in there, and it was a good place to start. It was a good place to get some experience. So
Classic.
I kind of got into, I'm first generation. My dad volunteered a little bit when he was younger, but he didn't stay for very long. I got into it in high school, volunteering in Botetourt right outside of the city here, and I've been there since 2014. I'm still there. Went through it and got hooked on it. And one day I was like, man, this is cool. I could get paid to do this. So everybody I always became friends with going through growing up were like, Roanoke City, Roanoke City, Roanoke City. So I had my target set here since I was 16, wanted to come here. And I've been here since 2020. And it's great. No, I have not had a day yet that I'm like, I don't want to go to work today. Mm-hmm. So now Fritsch and I are assigned together, and we cut up and have fun. And
The number 5 firehouse.
Yeah, beat each other up every day and run great. Calls and do work.
It's fun.
And then, JD, you and I went to the academy together.
Most people don't know me as JD, but
Just James Daniel Fritsch.
that's me.
You and I went to the academy together.
Yeah, we did.
And then lived together, and then you left,
Uh-huh.
and now you're back.
I'm back.
And that's how I got seniority over them.
Which kind of, you want to speak to that
Why I left?
at all? Well, you don't have to get that personal, but like how it was like coming back,
Coming back was great. I left for like family reasons, not for anything like wrong with the department. It was really upsetting leaving. And my fiance at the time, my now wife, we were like, I really don't want to go, but there was other things kind of pulling us somewhere else. Left on good terms, and then the opportunity came back to where we could move back here, and we were really excited. It was actually at your wedding when we decided that we were moving back. But coming back, it was great. I was not like it. Seeing a different department makes you really see how great we have it here. There's always going to be a pay discrepancy. There's always going to be calls that you don't want to run. There's always going to be negative Nancy somewhere. And then seeing it, a place 4 hours away, it's like, oh, the problems are just the problem. Like, it's not anything specific to here. But coming back was great. I was glad to come back and start running calls. The place I went was a little slower. I was happy to pick back up and run some calls.
Colin, you said Roanoke City since you were 16. When you got here, was there any like moment that was like, I made the right decision?
Yeah. It was the first day of recruit school and the first day out in company. First day of recruit school, the structure, the expectation, the pace. I was like, man, I come from a pretty healthy volunteer organization, right? 15, 20 person, pretty rural volunteer firehouse, 250 runs a year. When we get something out there, it's something, but they're few and far between, you could say. I come here, go through recruit school, and like, wow, my head is spinning. And then my first day out in company, I was riding backwards. He's retired now, for Captain Kesterson, and a fellow that works in Danville now. He was driving, and our first day, I was like, holy cow. We ran like, I can't remember. We took like 10 or 11, 12 runs or something like that in the 24. Got sent to like 2 or 3 possible fires, like a pretty serious assault call and wrecks and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, what am I doing? This is crazy. And I loved it. It was great. And Fritsch was there already. He had just got moved there from 13. And then all the other young guys, they were like, come on in. Like they laid expectations out. And they were like, this is what we expect. And then you'll be accepted. And that's all you have to do. And I was like, all right, let's get to work, because this is awesome. It was the best choice I ever made.
Yeah.
And you guys feel that way how many years later? How long have y'all been with the department?
I'm going on close to 6.
Yeah, I'm 5. And
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wouldn't pick anywhere else.
No.
What kind of drives you to keep that passion, right? I mean, you talked about negative Nancy's, stuff like that, the problems of the department that are, nationwide. What drives you to want to keep making yourself better and keep making this department better?
I'm going to speak on this because this is a kind of my soapbox. All right. So I got to ask myself a lot of questions and trying to like, all right, what do I want? All right. I live in the city, and I ask myself all the time, and I play the scenario out, and I hope it never ever happens. But what would I want if my family is inside of a house fire, or they're just sick and need an ambulance? All right. What do I expect of whoever's showing up? All right. Do I want somebody that's kind of like, that hasn't really trained that much, and it's been putting a lot of time in on the recliner and TV, and hasn't checked their pack off, or hasn't pulled lines, or hasn't thrown any ladders, or just doing the basic stuff? Do I want somebody that like hasn't done any of that, comes off the truck kind of, a little slow? No. If I saw that, I'd be very disappointed, and it would it would make me question the people going in to save my family. So I just reverse engineer it and tell myself like, all right, if that's what I expect of somebody coming to save my family, that's what I should probably emulate, because that's what I'm assuming, that's what every citizen in Roanoke wants from us. So that's what kind of drives me. I ask myself that question. I just reverse engineer it and say, who would I want rescuing me or my family? And then try to be that person. Whatever your answer is, just be that person. So
That's good.
it's a soapbox of mine.
You have a lot of them.
Yeah.
I've never heard that box before. Fritsch, that was very good.
First time ever.
Yep.
Lasek.
For me, I get asked this like very few times, but I have been asked this before, and my answer is always, I just like being here. Like, I just like coming to work. I like being at the firehouse, going on runs and hopping on a rig and hanging out with the crew. It's people are like, hey, what's it like to go to work? You show up to work, you meet some expectations, you run some calls, and you hang out with your friends. That's it.
Yeah.
You have busy days, you have slow days. There's days that we stay soaked to the bone with sweat, like the weather that's right now. And then there's days that we, do some training, hang out inside, it's whatever. But I just like coming to work, if it's, I like pride and ownership, putting pride in the rigs and in the firehouse, try to tell people that, the firehouse doesn't owe us anything. We owe the firehouse everything. The firehouse, both at home and at work, has afforded me a lot of opportunities of growth in my personal life and in my professional life, and of which I'm very blessed and thankful for. And if I don't pay that back, then that well is probably going to run dry, right? So polishing the wheels on the rigs, like what we were talking about just before this.
And it's your job.
Yeah, and it's your job.
You get paid every 2 weeks to do a certain job requirement, meet a certain standard. If you do that, you'll be fine.
Yeah. All you have to do is care. That's all you have to do.
Casey and I were actually also just talking about this. I was like, I remember, I think it was your story, you were talking about keeping up with the reserves and taking pride in your firehouse and everything. Can you speak on that a little bit and kind of highlighting how you guys respect the tradition of the firehouse, but you're also looking at the progression and making the firehouse culture better and modern as you kind of go through your career?
Oh man, how much time do we have?
As long as you want.
Just like I was working trade time with C Shift the other day, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna wax the ladder truck today." Ladder 5 is in the old tower ladder, old ladder 2 right now because ladder 5 is in the shop. That poor truck. It's early 2000s or whatever. She's been used. It's still a good truck. I love driving that truck. But she, the paint's got some sun bleach on it and stuff like that, and they buffed it and waxed it, and we're like, oh man, this truck's red. It's not pink.
Yeah.
So for me, attention to detail in the firehouse and the rig is huge. I like thinking back to like the days of the old volunteer fire companies and the hose wagons and the steam pumpers and stuff like that. Those guys had gold leaf, hand stripe, pinstriping, and lettering, and painted wood wheels and lacquer finish and all this crazy stuff, and they were like fighting with dudes about whose piece was better, right? And I like that now. Like the rigs got to look good. Clean rigs are happy rigs, and happy rigs go to fires, right? We all like going with fires. There's no doubt about it.
I was always told growing up, dirty fire trucks don't run calls.
Yeah. Yep. And
just part of the tradition that you keep passing down. And
it's funny listening to like the topic of like we're in the reserves. Everyone's always like, oh man, we gotta swap trucks. This thing's falling apart. Well, if we don't take care of them, they're gonna fall apart.
Yeah. Right.
So
there's no reason that reserve truck shouldn't be treated just like your piece is.
Exactly. That's our piece. We need to know that truck the whole time that we're in it. We need to know where everything is. We need to know its catches and its downfalls, its pitfalls, because every truck's got one. We're on the road so much. Your truck is going to have some deficiency somewhere that just never gets fixed. That's what way it goes as a fire service, So like if the Alcoas look terrible, polish them. If the paint's falling off of the wheels, like we had old engine 4, one of those KMEs. Me and some of the guys, we repainted the silver on the wheels just because that's like always been like the Roanoke wheel, like the red wheel with the silver on them. All the new trucks have polished Alcoas on them, but we did ladder 5's wheels, the silver stripe on them a while ago, and gutting the cab and cleaning the cab and making sure they're not full of used gloves and dirt and stuff like that. Like this thing is carrying me everywhere I need to go. This is my house outside of the firehouse, and I'm living in the rig. I move into this thing for 24 hours. Possibly I'd be in it more than I am the firehouse, depending on how busy we are. So take care of it. You can't complain that you can't complain if the headsets are broken if you throw them in the floor. Hang them up on the hook.
Yeah, it's also an investment the community's made.
Yeah.
To give us to you. I mean, these things aren't cheap.
Yeah.
They're $1 million, $2 million
$7 million
apparatus.
You clean that thing, wax it, and polish the wheels, and all it takes is somebody looking down the road. They're like, oh man, like they're taking care of this thing that my tech stars are paying for.
Yeah.
my tax.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Right. Yeah. City resident.
But then that goes into the firehouse too. Like, I can't tell you how many times like we've cleaned. You go and clean every morning, but then you go and you get to the toilet lid and it's been loose for months. It's like, all right, it's just tighten it. Like it's not a crazy job to do.
It's the little things.
It's a little socket.
It is. It really just a little thing.
Tighten it real quick.
Because that translates into going on runs, right? Like I always tell, we just got a new rookie. I'm like, all you have to do is care, and all you have to do is do the rookie stuff. It's like, we can trust you enough to take care of the firehouse, to clean the bathrooms and sweep the floor and do this and that. Then all we have to do is train you, and we can trust you to do stuff on runs and go above and beyond what you really should be doing at this point in your career, because we don't have to babysit you to clean the firehouse, right? So, yeah, that's what we like outside of like aggressive tactics and stuff like that. Like that's the kind of culture that our officers and we try to foster in the firehouse. And there's crews like that all over the city. But yeah, we get pretty hard up on it.
That's awesome. The way you do small things is the way you do everything, right?
Yeah.
I had when I first came out, there's a captain that sat us down in our like expectation meeting, and one thing he said that really stuck in my brain is your work has a signature to it. And it is, you could tell who does good work, and you could tell who's like, they kind of slacked on that one. And so that's saying your work has a signature to it. I've always like tried to remember that conversation. And that's another thing that's like, all right, yeah, you're tired, you're whatever, might didn't sleep well at home or whatever. And you come into work and it's like, all right, I got to kick myself into gear because your work has a signature to it and people can tell. So you don't want to have a bad signature. You don't want people to know you for them. You're like, he's the one.
Yeah.
Right? So it's another motivator for me, at least.
That's good. I like that.
You talked about y'all just got a rookie. We got one as well. Well, a lot of companies did.
Yeah.
16 or 17 of them. Do you remember when you felt like you clicked into the firehouse, right? Like there's that period of time where you're the new person.
Mhm.
Do you remember what it felt like when you earned your spot, kind of?
I don't know. I don't know what.
I really don't know.
For me, yeah, it's like, I don't know when it, like, yeah, you come off probation after your 1 year, and that's like a nice thing, but even 5 years in, it's still, like, I still feel like, hey, man, you don't deserve to sit on the couch. Like, you don't deserve to do this stuff yet, right? And I don't know when you ever feel
If ever.
Yeah. Which I guess you should never feel like that. You should never be like, I've made it,
Right.
you know? I'm here.
Your time to leave.
Man,
Now there's captains that have been here for a long time. It's like,
yeah, 30,
yeah.
25, 30, 35 years.
By
Yeah,
all means.
brother, you have earned your place. Go sit down somewhere. Don't you touch that hose. Don't touch your gear. I'll put it on the truck for you.
Yeah.
You sit
Don't worry about
down.
cleaning.
You have been there and done it. I am okay with doing this.
But no, I can't sit here and say, like, at this point is when I felt like I made it or came off of, or I'm not a rookie anymore, whatever. It's like, I still feel like a rookie sometimes. Like, I don't deserve a lot of stuff.
It's silly for us because, like, you were the low man at 13 when you first came out for a while. I was the low man at 5 for the first 2 years of my career. And now we have rookies that are coming out, and we're doing 3-4 recruit schools a year, and they're getting out of the low man position like 3, 4, 5, 6 months in. So just trying to instill in them the work ethic and the retainership of it. Like, I have stuff to prove. Every single day I come to the firehouse, I have something to prove. I've got something to prove to myself and everyone else that I deserve to be there. So why not have that mentality and just work, take care of something? It's not hard. That is all you have. I said this already. All you have to do is care. It's not hard to be successful.
What about you? Can I ask you that?
I still don't feel like I've like earned the spot. I mean, I'm what, 7 years. I don't know. It's especially now, like a new position. Getting promoted.
You got promoted?
Yeah. And a new position, new firehouse, new run area. Just learning all of that. It's almost like a reset, right? Where you went from being the senior guy to at 5, there's another lieutenant, a first lieutenant, and a captain. And you're now the low officer of like, hey, I got to figure all this out, like where I fit in the culture of this station. How my leadership style is going to blend with what's already established here, right? 'Cause I'm not trying to go anywhere and change, anything. You got to sit back and understand what the dynamic is you're working into. But it's definitely a learning curve, and and now there's like just new responsibilities that you didn't have before that you're trying to figure out. So I don't think you ever truly get fully comfortable in a position for a long period of time.
You shouldn't. It's like the same. It's everybody knows it. Like the saying, as soon as you feel like you know everything, you should get out.
Absolutely.
Or like never stop being a student. Like that it just translates into that.
Yeah. But I think there's definitely a time in your career where you go from like think of the rookie right there on their first couple shifts, like every call is like nerve wracking to an extent. And then you hit a time where you become comfortable and confident in your position. I don't think that's being complacent at all, but it's just
It's having confidence in the
I've
skill
been
set.
here, I've done this, I know what to do moving forward.
Yeah.
And that takes time to learn that, no matter
yeah.
what level you are in this department, whether you just made battalion chief or you just became, a paramedic. It's a whole new world of opportunities throughout this career.
Yep. It's cool.
We've talked a lot about you guys' place in the firehouse. How does that translate at home? Like, has fatherhood changed the way that you guys approach the job in the firehouse?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for me, I can be 100% honest with that. Like, before, my son just turned 3 last month. Before he came along, like, I kind of never really cared, like, what happened to me, to be completely honest. Like, both at home and, like, here. like I wasn't doing like crazy, Ric Flair stuntman stuff, but I never really had any concern, but I definitely like fatherhood's like, and even before that, like when I met my wife, I'm like, man, I gotta go back home to these people. That's not gonna dampen my performance at all. Like if people are trapped or like their house is on fire or like they're stuck at like I'm Swiftwater, like if they're in the water or something, I'm gonna go get you. I am going to go get you, and I will get you. That's a fact. Like I'm gonna go get you. But I'm gonna be a little more methodical, a little more calculated, a little bit more, for lack of a better term, a little bit more grown up in those thought processes.
You know, if a good saying, what's their saying? The difference between
the difference between recklessness and aggression, is education, right? You can be aggressive all day long, but that will translate into recklessness if you're not educated, you don't think about your decision.
You don't apply it properly.
Yeah, you don't apply it properly. So, you got to put forth the effort before the stuff happens to be prepared in that sense, which is like the cliche thing that they teach us in recruit school or whatever. Be smart and always prepare, but like that's for real. That's like for real life stuff.
Yeah. That's why they taught it to us.
Yeah. Like this stuff didn't just come out of thin air, bud. Like this is when people got hurt because we weren't being smart enough.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, like it definitely, what I talked about previously about what would I want, like coming to save me, it definitely has intensified that feeling, right? Because now I have a family like to go home to, and it's like, all right, again, what do I want for them, right? So again, let me be that for every citizen here. Let me be the most. I know we talked about being aggressive, but the most aggressive, like, try to be the most educated, the most professional, right, person for them, because that's what I would want.
Mm-hmm.
So fatherhood's changed in a good way. That mindset definitely intensified it, but again, in a smart way, applied properly, and not doing stupid stuff either.
It's definitely clear. It definitely clarifies my thoughts in a positive way, to provide a better outcome and process of that outcome for the customer, the people that we're serving, if it makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any lessons or values that you guys have learned in the firehouse that you take home and teach your kids about?
Oh yeah, work ethic, taking care of stuff, and dependability, and just all kinds of crazy cliche stuff. All that. Those core values that we as firefighters always try to harp on and build.
My daughter's 1, so we're kind of putting colors. Yeah, we're just like
Elias is 3, and he's very smart. He's funny.
I was sitting here thinking about your daughter, like the things that she does, and I'm like, yeah, he definitely taught her how to spill the dog food all over the field.
Yeah.
He's funny. We're struggling right now. Like he just got potty trained, and he's like going to the fridge and stuff and getting stuff on his own. It's like, buddy, you gotta ask for help. You gotta be nice to mom. Please. He's super good at please and thank you and stuff like that. Just trying to teach core values and respect and stuff like that. Stuff that's, was taught to me, like respecting senior officers and stuff like that at the firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
He was funny. He's got a little roll around, sit on like stamped metal fire truck, and we were sitting on the couch yesterday. He walked up to me. He's like, Daddy, I gotta go to work. And I was like, oh, okay. Where are you going? He said, I go drive the engine. And he pointed at his truck. He said, love you. And he crawled up on the couch and gave me a kiss and put his little plastic helmet on. He got on the truck and he drove away. I was like, all right, well, I'll see you tomorrow morning, bud.
Yeah. Make that money.
I've been to work.
What would you say to people that have children that want to get into this profession and they're worried about missing stuff at home, right? You both were in the firehouse before you had your kids, and then now that transition. We talk a lot about our time away from home, but there's also a lot of time at home, with our schedule.
Yeah.
What would you, give advice to those people?
You should worry about missing stuff because you're going to.
Right.
It's unavoidable. You missed something the other day that was...
Yeah, she took her first steps.
And you were at work.
I was like, well, it's going to happen.
I missed a few things too, but I mean, that's just like, we're so happy in this profession. We want to be here. That's a sacrifice that we have to make. And I personally, like, I don't think that we lose out on as much, and this is just my view, I don't think that we lose out on as much being at work as like my wife and my son do at home, because I'm gone.
Right.
Like, they're just like, oh man, dad to come home. Like, the families deal with so much. They have to deal with us being gone. They have to deal with us being absent when we are at home sometimes, if we had a terrible shift or we were up all night. Like, we run me and a now promoted lieutenant's record on Rescue 5 is 21 calls in a shift, right? So very proud of that. That was a good day. And the families have to deal with that stuff. Like, hey, go to bed. Like, I'm gonna go to bed and nap 2 or 3 hours in the morning when I get home from work, so I'm still gonna be going for that. Like, family support is like the biggest part of us being here, as opposed to anything else in the world. And on top of that, if you're as involved as like Fritsch and I are, we're at recruit school after shift. We're doing this on shift today, but like potentially we were here doing this podcast on an off duty day. You're here off duty right now, away from your pregnant wife. So there's the families, I think, carry a way bigger weight than we do.
Yeah, and having that very honest conversation with your significant other, like, hey, this is just the way it is. We will adjust fire. Yeah, I'm not going to be there for Christmas, but we'll do Christmas on my 4-day, right?
Santa comes a day early.
Yeah, something. And honestly, that's what we do. Like, we're going to get creative with it, and like, oh, well, Santa's making an exception, and you want to write a letter? I don't know. We're just thinking about ways to make it creative and not be like, oh, Dad's just gone, right? But having that conversation, like, look, I need your support in this, because it's going to be a lot. Recruit school's a lot. Learning's a lot. Staying a student's a lot. Being busy, it's a lot. And then coming home and then trying to be present, and then you got stuff going on, and it's just reminding your significant other, like, I need your support in this.
We've also talked on other episodes about how the firehouse is a family, right? So, Christmas at the firehouse is enjoyable for me as a person on shift, right?
That's a big deal.
My family gets to come. I get to meet everybody else's family, interact with their kids. You grew up doing it. So it's, you've done it your entire life. It's kind of normal.
It is normal for me. Yeah, we would go up to Dad's firehouse and have Christmas and Thanksgiving, bring presents, and
the whole shebang.
Yeah.
So I think that's a benefit here, is that the department sees the value of family and understands that value, and allows them to come into our workplace. And, obviously my daughter's not here yet, but I've working Christmas and driving the truck out of the station with all of the family kids, just wide-eyed and excited, watching their dads or moms, leave for a call, is just, something special. It's like those core memories that you think will instill in people for their lives.
And you want to talk about like caring for the people that you work for. There's plenty of times where his wife and child come down, and let's say he's driving the engine and the engine gets a run. People are scrounging to like get his gear off of the truck. No, you're staying here. I'll take the call.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
We've got at least one family come by the firehouse a cycle out of our crew of 10, not counting the chief of the RS. And man, anytime they're there, it's like the whole rest of the crew, all the 5 other firefighters are beating down the doors like, get off of the truck, you're staying here. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But that's important. I mean,
that's awesome to have that support, though. And you guys are not only supporting your brothers and sisters in the firehouse, but their family at home. So that's cool to see that culture just like thriving.
And it's like, that's all over the city. The department itself puts so much emphasis on family. Like, talking about Christmas, like, you've got young dudes like that are pretty young in their careers still, like we both are, but we have families, like younger kids in their early 20s and 18, 19 if they're that young, that are offering to like work holidays like that for us so that we can be at home. Like, they're like, we don't have to ask. Like, people come to it like, hey, do you need to, like, if we're working Christmas this year, hey, do you need me to work for you? Like, you at least want me to work 4 or 5 hours this morning for trade time?
Catch more because presents.
And it translates across the whole year. Do you need a day off? Yeah. We had a guy, he doesn't work here anymore. His wife got cancer. And if you remember them, and people were like, this was before time clocks and stuff, people were volunteering to work his shift and then not asking him to pay back. Or like, we have the shared leave plan. Like you can get, like people can gift you your PTO and stuff now. Like it's crazy the support network that we can support and thrive with here in the city in terms of supporting family and the home life from work.
In the city, it's amazing because I brought Parker into medic class the other day because we had like a scheduling difference, me and my wife, and she had an appointment that kind of ran long, and I was like, hey, can I bring her in? And she sat in on paramedic class. It's just like,
She was sitting there listening to y'all like, yes.
yeah, and like, that's cool that the city's not like, well, no, she can't be on city property because she's not a city employee. And they're like, please bring her. When we're doing PT with the recruit class that just came out, I'd bring Parker in, set some toys out, we'd PT the recruits, and she's over there yelling and cheering them on. I'm like, man, it's cool that the city is just like, yeah, please come on.
Right, but we even see that now with the gym, the new gym.
Yeah.
You can sign a waiver and your wife and kids over a certain age can come and exercise on city property, with you, which, kind of drives, that bringing family and work together more, which is...
We had a ride along the other day, 2 more instances that I shared with that ride along that they were like, all right, yep, I'm pursuing the city. The lieutenant, how old are these kids now? Last year, sometime, whenever it was, his wife went into that preterm stuff with the twins, and they ended up having to get rushed to the hospital and stuff. The amount of support that he got, and then his ride home from the hospital.
Yeah.
And then when LT Coleman fell through the floor a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Before we even got out of the hospital, his house, he's 2-story living. He wouldn't have been able to walk upstairs and go to bed. Before he even got out of the hospital that evening, a bunch of firefighters had a brand new recliner in his living room. Mm-hmm. It's not limited to work and it's not limited to home. Like, you're going to get taken care of.
Yeah. That's a fact. We see it regularly. And even, it doesn't even have to be the big stuff, right? Like the life-changing stuff. It's the small stuff as well that, the day in, day out, just people asking, your officers knowing your spouse's name and your child's name.
Oh,
Your chief checking in on you and stopping by the stations and, knowing your life outside of this place.
Oh, yeah.
Is just crucial. And it just makes you feel like you're not a number, right? That you actually matter here, that you're a person, and that you're cared for. And I think it makes it easier on the families knowing that environment exists in this department.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know you mentioned bringing Parker into PT one day. So let's switch gears a little bit to recruit school and you guys kind of training the next generation of firefighters. Can you guys talk a little bit about some of the mentors that you guys had going through recruit school to where you are now, and then how you're almost that mentor now for the recruits that are coming up?
Man, going through recruit school, what were you laughing at?
I'll just take it back to recruit school.
Yeah, everyone always laughs like that. You think about recruit school. Cap Wasson was a lieutenant at training then, and he sticks out to me a lot. And he was always cool. He had that super good balance between, I can speak to you and be personable with you, but I also, you're a recruit and I'm a lieutenant, so you're gonna be respectful and kind of address me as you should. And his leadership style always stuck with me. And then he ended up, when he became a captain, he came to us for a while at 5. And man, his leadership style, again, being able to see it in the, more adult aspect, not the red shirt aspect, the transparency and the leadership development that he harps on and stuff like that. Like from recruit school to now, he sticks with me really, really hard. Taught me a lot of ways that I'd when I get to have a bugle, I'd like to instill a lot of his leadership tactics in what I do.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of tradition that initially you're thrown into when you first come out of recruit school. And I think it sounds like silly sometimes to, make the recruits, not make them, but have them do silly things, right? But it's just trying to keep the tradition going, right? And trying to keep the culture going of, you have these jobs, you meet the jobs, there's no problem. Like towels not getting done, or not checking off your pack. And so I think I'm trying to keep reminding, like, oh, what else, and what else, and passing those things down to the recruit. Because I think if you keep like situations like that, the culture, the tradition, the history, if you keep that going, you keep stories alive, you keep all the people that used to work here, alive, and it's almost like you've met them before. Like we have Captain Kesterson, we tell stories about him all the time, and people that have never met him talk about, like, I feel like I've known this guy for years, but it's just because of the stories that are like constantly being told about him. And remember this one time he did this, remember this, remember that, remember this. And you start sharing stories, traditions, culture, the firehouse life. I think that's really important for someone coming out of recruit school.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, if you want to be in on this, it's a family, it's a history lesson, it's a culture lesson, it's a lot of stuff. So
Yep. We always have to honor and acknowledge those who paved the way for us to be here.
Absolutely. Leave it better than you found it.
Mhm.
I always said that recruit school is the most fun I never
Want to have again?
and I did it again.
You did.
Yeah, you
And it was for nothing because you came
yeah,
back.
and then he came back.
Hey, I'm here.
No, recruit school, we have an upcoming academy and then potentially another following it. It's definitely a grind, but it's doable. A lot of it, I think, is mental, and we've talked about that on other episodes with other guests. But I think you and I can at least speak to the bond you create in recruit school with people. So Fritsch and I met in recruit school. I didn't know anybody here. I came down from New Jersey. First day, showed up. We met. We actually didn't get along initially at all, and then ended up, moving in together in an apartment, becoming each other's, best mans at each other's weddings, and then we still hang out. Our families were together this past weekend, hanging out at my house. That kind of, you find your people in recruit school that you'll stick with for the rest of your career. And then you almost get people that you compete with, right? Like in terms of what they're doing in the department. They not compete, but it drives you, right? Like, oh, well, this person, we're kind of on the same career track, and it just pushes you to keep performing and keep doing well. I think that's a unique aspect of recruit school that we don't think about as much because it's so focused on just checking off, they've done these skills, I know they can do them, they'll learn more out in company, but there's so much more bonds that are made there that help push you through those 20-something, I don't even know what it's up to now, 26 weeks, of trying times.
It's cool to see a recruit come out and like they're so like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and like nervous and excited, and it's like, all right, I want to get back to that point. Like I want to be like just as, like we talked about, we love coming to work. I want to keep, every time we have a recruit come out, it's like, man, they are so excited, so nervous and excited. And it's like, all right, let me get back to that point. Let me get back to being like that, where it's just every day is not taken for granted. You're not wishing the day away, and you're just enjoying every bit of it. So,
What advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about becoming a firefighter?
Do it.
That sounds.
Just do it.
Why not?
Nike. Trademarked.
Yeah, just do it. Never heard that before ever, especially on the commercial sense. Yeah, just do it. There's negatives, but I think like for me, like this is what I'm looking for. This is what I wanted. This is everything I wanted it to be. Especially here in the city, the push to become better and to be educated, and especially like in our crew, like our officers are super into developing us, and I know that they're like that across the city, letting us take on some responsibility, letting the young guys lead training and doing this, that, and the other. The support for the home life, and there's had let's sit down. We'll have a whole nother episode of this on, come do it right now.
And now is the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it a little bit and just say, like, try it out, right? But there's definitely jobs that I wouldn't be able to do, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's pros and cons to every job. This job to me is the greatest job ever. And I think, like, if I were to go to an office job, I would have to be very honest with myself about if I want to do this for the rest of my life. If you want to come here and you want to have a caffeine addiction and you want your knees to hurt and your back to hurt and to be up most nights and to not really be in the AC as much and be sweaty and change your shirt 4 times in a day, and like, if you're all down for that and you want to serve the community and you want to be, I know this is cliche, I know, but be a part of something bigger than yourself, yeah, you should apply, train, get ready for the PT test, all right, and just be a student the whole way. Don't take any of it for granted, ever. So,
And man, it's so much fun too. Like,
Much fun.
we get hit for just a fire alarm. We're out the door, and like, it's silly. We're running to the truck for silly stuff, silly stuff to us because we run it so much. But
Right.
it's like, it's sometimes older people will be like, "Oh, it's not my emergency. We're just going." Like, it is our emergency. Then people called, and
the National Guard ain't coming.
Yeah, the light,
Nobody
the light
else.
turned on for the truck that I'm riding to go. It is now incidentally my problem, right? We're running to the truck for fluid leak MVCs and all this stuff because we want to be there. We like being there. It is so much fun, and it's so morale boosting to just go and be high speed and stretching lines on possible fires even when there's nothing showing, and this, that, and the other. Like, you have to be zealous to stay engaged and be motivated, and that's what,
It's a good word.
what we are. It is. It starts with a Z. You've got to be that way, and it's awesome, and that's so infectious for older people and new people in order to, like, retain that vigor for the job, and that starts with a V for that for the job, and bringing in new people, and retirees leaving in a happy state, and,
And there's a true, like, job satisfaction, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can leave the station every morning and be like, I made a difference in somebody's life, or if the odd chance you didn't run a call because maybe you're on the ladder truck, you went to the grocery store and back.
That's a
or,
call. We consider that a
that you made yourself better, so that way when that emergency does happen, you're more capable and prepared to handle it, right? We don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want you to crash your cars. We don't want your house to catch on fire. But when it does happen, because inevitably it's going to happen, I want to be there.
that's the only way. We get training as close to realism as we can, but we'll never be able to have realistic training of like the
stress
of a live person not breathing in a house fire, or a live person with their femur sticking out of their leg in a car crash. Going on run, getting on the rig and going on a run and performing skills is the true wholehearted way that we get better at the job and perform better on the next run and the next run and the next day and the next day and the next day. So if that's going to happen,
What about the next day?
that was a SpongeBob reference. If that's going to happen, then I want to be there because I want the experience and I want to be better.
Yeah, and talking to this kind of like changes it into like training and doing like your minimum job requirements of like keeping your skills up, training, doing mass drills, throw ladders, pull lines. Like, if you can make those couple things to the point, like the analogy I like to use is like you tie your shoes, right? When you're a kid and you first learn how to tie your shoes, you got to take your time and make the loops, and maybe you did it wrong, but you do it again and it's really slow. And then after a while, you get good at it and you can have a whole conversation, tying your shoe and getting ready. If you can mask up, like without even thinking, making it so muscle memory that you can now worry about sizing up the building or looking for victims or reading smoke, and you're masking up, or you can pull lines and then it takes your attention off of what I'm doing right now and I can focus it on a bigger task. And that's how I think you can progress to be a really good fireman, and just making a lot of stuff muscle memory. So, tangent.
Come here for it.
Tangents are fun.
All right. Well, our time is about up for the podcast episode here, but is there anything that we didn't ask you guys about that you would like to leave our listeners with?
You didn't ask about my blood type.
Huh? That was random.
Yeah, I know.
Why you got to close it out weird, Fritsch?
I'm a weird guy.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here today. I appreciate you both.
Thanks
Greatly.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you. This
I'm
was
going to go back to the firehouse. I'm going to put Fritsch back in his crate now.
And
because I'm a dog.
what is your blood type?
I don't know.
No, okay.
Oh, that's the first thing I thought of. No, thank you guys. It's fun.
Thank you.
You're dumb.
Firefighting is about more than just putting out flames. It's about who you are when the alarm goes off and who you come home to when the work is done.
And it's guys like Lasek and Fritsch who remind us that being a great firefighter isn't just about skill. It's about heart, heritage, and the people you're doing it for.
If you're listening and wondering if there's a place for you in public safety, we want you to know there is. Whether you're a parent, a student, or someone searching for purpose, this job is built for people who care.
Big thanks to our guests, Firefighter EMTs Lasek and Fritsch. We appreciate the work you do and the way you show up on scene, at home, and in this department.
If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a future firefighter in your life, and join us next time on the Ringdown podcast.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.
Medic freeze on scene.
Second line, knock down the exterior fire.